So here I am inside Gemini, and I wanted to ask Gemini a couple of questions. The first thing I want to ask it is the novelty of AI wearing off? I think it's a good question to ask. There's a lot of discussion around AI, and let's see what AI itself thinks. So it says to us, based on the available information, it appears the novelty of AI is indeed starting to wear off for many people, especially the initial wow factor of tools like ChatGPT fades and the technology becomes more integrated into daily life. However, this doesn't mean interest is disappearing. Rather, it's shifting from a place of inflated expectations to a more pragmatic and critical understanding. So obviously that's telling us that AI is maturing. And then it gives us a breakdown. Gemini gives us a breakdown of a couple of key points. The first one is moving beyond the honeymoon phase. Initial excitement, often referred to as the novelty effect or honeymoon effect, is giving way to a more realistic assessment. Users are becoming more critical and are starting to focus on the limitations of the technology, such as hallucinations. And obviously AI can hallucinate, biased outputs, and the need for significant human oversight. So in other words, we're moving beyond this initial honeymoon phase where everyone thought AI was absolutely fantastic to a different place completely. The hype cycle, this shift aligns with the well-known hype cycle model from Gartner, a market research firm. According to this model, a new technology often goes through a peak of inflated expectations, which I think AI has, before falling into the trough of disillusionment. Several sources suggest that generative AI is currently in or entering this trough as organizations and individuals realize the challenge of implementation and the gap between the initial hype and the practical value. This is all part of AI maturing as we go along. And from toy to tool, many users are moving away from viewing AI as a toy to a genuine tool for their work and personal lives. While the initial awe may have diminished, the perceived utility of AI is actually increasing for those who are learning how to use it effectively and customize it to their specific needs. So the initial hype is dying down, but people are realizing it's a useful tool and nothing much more than that. The public is increasingly demanding regulation and oversight to ensure the technology is used responsibly. So as AI matures, people are looking towards oversight and making sure that it's doing things properly, with such things as your personal information, confidential information, that kind of thing. The pushback against AI is everything. There's a growing sentiment of AI fatigue, with some people feeling that AI is being forced into every product and service, even when it's not needed. Features like AI-powered notification summaries or search overviews, that's one that I don't like, are sometimes seen as unnecessary or even annoying. So in other words, when you go onto Google and you search, and instead of getting the kind of results that you used to get, like the websites and that kind of thing, you're getting a summary that's generated through AI, and that can be annoying. So in conclusion, the novelty of AI is wearing off, but it's not a sign of its demise. Instead, it represents a maturation of the technology and a change in how people are interacting with it. The focus is shifting from the initial wonder to the practical application, challenges, and long-term implications of a tool that is becoming increasingly integrated into part of our world. So it's there, but the novelty is wearing off. So the next question I wanted to ask with respect to copywriters, will AI ultimately replace copywriters? This is something, I thought it'd be interesting to ask AI itself and get its opinion. The question of whether AI ultimately replace copywriters is a complex one, and the consensus from industry experts is that it's not a simple yes or no. Instead of complete replacement, the role of the copywriter is evolving, and I've said this before. Here's a breakdown of the key viewpoints. AI is a powerful tool, not replacement. So it's basically saying there that AI can automate mundane tasks, such as it excels at handling repetitive, formulaic, and data-driven tasks. This includes creating drafts, SEO-optimized headlines, writing product descriptions, and brainstorming ideas. And this basically frees up time for copywriters. All right, increased efficiency and speed. It can generate content at unprecedented speed, which is a massive advantage for business, etc., etc. It can overcome writer's block, which is a very useful tool for doing that. And personalization at scale. AI can analyze vast amounts of data to create highly personalized content for different customer segments, a task that would be incredibly time-consuming for a human copywriter. So it's got its uses. It's got its uses in terms of automating mundane tasks and handling big volumes of data, and that's a really useful use case for it. But then the AI goes on to say the irreplaceable human touch, and this is where we copywriters come in. Emotional connection and nuance. Great copywriting is about more than just stringing words together. We know this. It's about connecting with people on an emotional level, and AI struggles to replicate genuine empathy, humor, and the kind of creative storytelling that forms a deep connection with an audience. So, the human copywriter is still way ahead of AI in this respect. AI-generated copy can often feel lifeless and robotic, which it does, okay? Strategic thinking and brand voice. A copywriter's job is not just to write, well, we know this, but it's about the brand voice. We can run strategies, we can craft messages that align with the overall marketing plan, and AI can mimic the brand voice to some extent, but cannot create one from scratch or understand the subtle nuances and context that human can. So the big idea and originality, AI works by remixing and predicting based on existing data. That's important to know. It's using big data, slicing and dicing big data. The most successful copywriters will be those who use AI as a collaborator. Their role would be to provide the strategic direction, craft and prompts, and then refine and humanize the AI-generated content. So it's essentially saying that it's not replacing copywriters. Now, the AI itself is giving us a bit of a hint of the kind of skills that we need. So we need creative and strategic thinking. So in other words, you need to up your copywriting skills, and AI is not actually going to affect you that much if you're working for the right kind of client with the right skills. Deep audience understanding, emotional intelligence and storytelling we've touched on, data analysis, and prompt engineering. And that's a big thing for us copywriters now, is being able to understand how to prompt AI. So in conclusion, AI is not going to replace all copywriters. It will, however, likely replace those who only perform basic formulaic tasks. Now pay attention to that. If you're not going to work on your copywriting skills and make yourself irreplaceable to the customer, work on your skills and become an experienced and well-educated copywriter, AI can be a danger. But that was never the kind of copywriter that was going to eventually earn the big bucks in any case. So the low effort or generic content will be increasingly commoditized. We know that by AI. Meanwhile, skilled copywriters who embrace AI as a tool and focus on their unique human abilities like strategic thinking, emotional resonance, and brand building will become more valuable than ever. So you will become more valuable than ever if you work on your copywriting skills, and businesses are realizing this. The honeymoon period for copywriting by AI is over, and businesses are starting to realize that they need human copywriters who can do all these things. So to sum up, the future of copywriting is not a battle between humans and machines, but a collaboration that leverages the best of both. And that essentially is how you must think of AI. It's a tool you can use. You need to build your copywriting skills. You need to get good at copywriting, get to the point where you can put in these nuances and human emotion, all that kind of human connection for yourself, and simply use AI as a tool to help you do it more quickly and more efficiently.